Hari Gopijana Balaba Girivanedhari Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Balaba Girivanedhari Jaya Gopijana Balaba Girivanedhari Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Dayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Asto Tardasati Shishimad ISKCON founder Acharya's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Brajabhumi Brindavandam Ki Shri Mayapur Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasa Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Canto 3, Chapter 22, Text number 7. The marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ Some more chanters. Diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ. diṣṭyā tvayānuśiṣṭo aham kṛtaś cānugraho mahān apāvṛtaiḥ karṇa-randhrair juṣṭā diṣṭyośatīr giraḥ. Anyone else, please? Okay. Diṣṭyā, luckily, tvayā, by you, anuśiṣṭaḥ, instructed, aham, I, kṛtaḥ, bestowed, and anugrahaḥ, favor, mahān, great, apāvṛtaiḥ, open, karṇa-randhrair, with the holes of the ears, juṣṭā, received, diṣṭyā, by good fortune, uśatīḥ, pure, giraḥ, words. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. Please repeat. I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī has given directions in his Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu on how to accept a bona fide spiritual master and how to deal with him. First, the desiring candidate must find a bona fide spiritual master, and then he must be very eagerly receive instructions from him and execute them. This is reciprocal service. A bona fide spiritual master or saintly person always desires to elevate a common man who comes to him. Because everyone is under the delusion of māyā and is forgetful of his prime duty, Krishna consciousness, a saintly person always desires that everyone become a saintly person. It is the function of a saintly person to invoke Krishna consciousness in every forgetful common man. Manu said that since he was advised and instructed by Kardama Muni, he was very much favored. He considered himself lucky to receive the message by oral reception. It is especially mentioned here that one should be very inquisitive to hear with open ears from the authorized source of the bona fide spiritual master. How is one to receive? One should receive the transcendental message by oral reception. The word karṇa-randhrair means through the holes of the ears. The favor of the spiritual master is not received through any other part of the body but the ears. This does not mean, however, that the spiritual master gives a particular type of mantra through the ears in exchange for some dollars, and if the man meditates on that, he achieves perfection and becomes God within 6 months. Such reception through the ears is bogus. The real fact is that a bona fide spiritual master knows the nature of a particular man and what sort of duties he can perform in Krishna consciousness, and he instructs him in that way. He instructs him through the ear, not privately but publicly. You are fit for such and such work in Krishna consciousness. You can act in this way. One person is advised to act in Krishna consciousness by working in the deity's room. Another is advised to act in Krishna consciousness by performing editorial work. Another is advised to do preaching work. And another is advised to carry out Krishna consciousness in the cooking department. There are different departments of activity in Krishna consciousness, and the spiritual master, knowing the particular ability of a particular man, trains him up in such a way that by his tendency to act, he becomes perfect. Bhagavad Gita makes it clear that one can attain the highest perfection of spiritual life simply by offering service according to his ability. Just as Arjuna served Krishna by his ability in the military art. Arjuna offered his service fully as a military man, and he became perfect. Similarly, an artist can attain perfection simply by performing artistic work under the direction of the spiritual master. If one is a literary man, he can write articles and poetry for the service of the Lord under the direction of the spiritual master. One has to receive the message of the spiritual master regarding how to act in one's capacity, for the spiritual master is expert in giving such instructions. This combination, the instruction of the spiritual master and the faithful execution of the instruction by the disciple, makes the entire process perfect. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes in his explanation of the verse in Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhi, the one who wants to be certain to achieve a spiritual process, must take the instruction from the spiritual master as to what his particular function is. He should faithfully try to execute that particular instruction and should consider that his life and soul. The faithful execution of the instruction which he receives from the spiritual master is the only duty of a disciple, and that will bring him perfection. One should be very careful to receive the message from the spiritual master through the ears and execute it faithfully. That will make one's life successful. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gina Gina Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for lending your ears to Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Kardama Muni is a very great sage, and Swayambhuva Manu has brought his daughter to have an appropriate husband. Kardama Muni is also considered a Prajapati. Swayambhuva Manu is also a Prajapati, son of Brahma. And so, although he's a great king, the emperor of the world, he has surrendered himself, he has submitted himself to Kardama Muni. And we know that Kardama Muni and Devahuti, they have 9 daughters who also marry great sages and proliferate the world with different types of living beings. But we also learn in this particular canto that Devahuti becomes the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Kapila, who will speak Sankhya philosophy to her. So here, Śrīla Prabhupada is describing one must accept a bona fide spiritual master. Imam Vishvashvate Yogam Proktavam Aham Avyayam Vivashvan Manave Prahur Manu Ikshvakave Bravit. That this great parampara system was established millions and millions of years ago by Krishna himself. He spoke to the sun god, who then spoke to Manu, who spoke to King Ikshvaku on this planet. So one must accept a bona fide spiritual master. Of course, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he he offered a polemic to the apasampradayas here in India, the Bolas and the Sakibekis and the Sahajas. So unfortunately, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, these parampara systems are contaminated, they're bastardized and so on. So it is very rare actually to be a part of this great Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, which was revived by the Supreme Lord himself, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about 500 years ago. Yata kanchanatam yati kamsamrata vishanataha tata diksha vidanena dvijatvam jayate nvinam. That Sanatana Goswami says that just as iron is transformed into gold, so the spiritual master, regardless of what one's ashram, varna, kirata, hunandra, pulinda, pulkash, one may be born 5th or 6th class person, but by the grace of a bona fide, a great spiritual master, one becomes empowered and becomes purified and can become perfectly pure in devotional service. Kirata hunandra pulinda pulkash ambira ya shamba yavana kashadaya yene chapapa. Even though one is born in very sinful family, like here in Kali Yuga, where most of us are born in very sinful families, but by the grace of Śrīla Prabhupada and the great acharyas, we're being transformed from iron into gold. So Bhaktisiddhanta, of course, he was criticized for accepting persons from lower caste system. Tat Nipano Vipro Mantra Tantra Visharada Avaishnavo Nasatguru Vaishnavaman Swapacho Guru. That even we are preaching in places like Philippines, Prabhupada mentions, places like Philippines, China, where people eat dogs. But if one understands the tattva, the complete absolute truth of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Atma Tattva, then one becomes a bona fide spiritual master. Of course, you have Vartmana Pradarshaka Guru, you have Diksha Guru, you have Shiksha Guru, different types of gurus. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered us, Yare Deke Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh, Amara Gyana Guruhana Edesh, that we must all become spiritual masters for the world. Therefore, Śrīla Prabhupada is saying, I am creating a society of Brahmin. Brahmin means very simple life. Sama Dhamma Tapas Socham Shantir Arjamam Evacha. Jnana Vijnana Astikam Brahma Karma Svabhavajam. So we practice simplicity, we practice mind control, sense control, we abstain from sense gratification, bhoga and aishvarya and material opulence, simple life. And our only business is to give this Krishna consciousness, give this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, this great, wonderful teachings given by the Acharyas to the fallen souls, to the innocent. There are four types of people who are being entities we recognize. We recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everyone's heart. We avoid the inimical persons. We make friends with devotees and associate with our peers. And we avoid the demoniac. We recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We preach to the innocent. We try to give this wonderful knowledge to the innocent. This is the real knowledge that's lacking in society. Dharma swanustita pumsham vishvakshena katasaya notpadiyat yatirthim shama eva hi kevalam. That all the human activities are completely useless, waste of time. People are very, very proud of their ugra karma, activities in the mode of ignorance, technology, industry, developing so many types of inventions for sense gratification. Chintama parimeyam cha pralayantam upashi. Simply want to engage, gratify their senses until the time of death. Patanti narake sucha. They're simply gliding down to the hellish planets. Tata pralinas tamasa mudho jonisu jayate. That when a person dies in the mode of ignorance, eating meat, taking intoxication, completely devoid of any spiritual practice, unfortunately their next birth is in the Tata pralinas tamasa mudho jonisu. They take birth in the womb of animals. So it's urgent. Śrīla Prabhupada was always pushing us. He's very urgently pushing us to distribute this Srimad Bhagavatam, distribute this Bhagavad Gita, give the holy name, distribute prasadam. This is the only, as Lord Chaitanya, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Inechio sari māyā nashi baralagi. This Harinam Mahamantra is the only medicine of the age. It is the only nothing else can save the conditioned souls. So our main business is this preaching and this giving of Krishna consciousness. And Lord Chaitanya says, I order every man in this universe to become Krishna conscious and distribute it to everyone else. So, Bile bato rukrama vikramanye nashunvata karna putena rasya. Sukadeva Goswami says that the tongue which doesn't glorify the Lord is like the tongue of a frog. It's simply calling on death. Nachopagayate urugaya gataha. And the ear that doesn't hear the glories of the Lord are simply like snake holes. So here in that purport, Śrīla Prabhupada describes that the frog, like man, is calling on death. Ayur harati vaipumsam udyanastan. So, by the rising and setting of the sun, the time itself is decreasing the life of everyone who is not interested in hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord, His transcendental activities, His beauty, His name, and His instructions. Who is interested in this? They don't have a taste. They're jaundiced. So we have to inject this nectar, and gradually people will become purified by hearing these topics of the Lord through the holes of their ears. Therefore, hearing is the most important. Shravanam and then kirtanam. So Shravanam is being stressed here by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada also mentions here the adharmis. The Avaduta is encountered by Prahlad Maharaj, 7th canto. And he's lying there and he's practicing like those big snakes that lie around. What are they called? Python. He's practicing Python. So he tells Prahlad Maharaj that there are 5 types of irreligion that look like religion. Dharma bado vidharmascha paradharma na choditaha. Upadharma tu pakando dambova shabda bich chala. So this chala dharma is people come and they say, oh no, you're God, I'm God, just take this mantra, give me some money. When I was in the West, before I joined, I attended some famous yogis meeting, and he was saying, you get this secret mantra. You give me $250, I give you the secret mantra. Prabhupada said, if it's a secret, why are you selling? Why are you giving it? These are chala dharma, simply chala, simply word jugglery. And no, you're God, everyone's God. You simply buy this mantra and go on enjoying your life. That was the message. So people are being misguided. Unfortunately, many people in Kali Yuga, they're influenced by demoniac qualities. So they want to be cheated. Prabhupada said, do you want to love Krishna? To one lady. And she said, no, Swami. He said, you see, you don't want Krishna. So we have to have this samutkanta, eagerness, as Rupa Gosvāmī, Prabhupada says in the Nectar of Devotion, samutkanta, eagerness. We must be very eager. The path is very, very difficult. It is not an easy path. Bhaktisiddhanta himself said that the path back to Godhead on the road is full of stones and sharp twigs. So this path is not as easy as people think. Srila Prabhupada used to say, this devotional service, not very easy. Why? Chanchala himana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayur eva suduskaram. The mind is chanchal. We come to Krishna consciousness and we're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. How are you today, Prabhu? Oh, I have this thing I have to do today later on. Like that. So we take for granted this holy name. Nam namakari bahuda nija sharva shakti. If we take shelter of the holy name with great attention, then the Shakti, we get the full potency. The full potency will be given to us. But we have to focus, dedicate our sadhana or time in the Brahma Muhurta hour to focus on this chanting, to glorify the deities with focus. Without focus, we become complacent. Yashastravidim utrija vartate kama. And then kam comes in, material desires come in. I've been chanting for 20 years. Take it for granted. And then lust, greed, the 6 plunderers, the 6 highway robbers Kam, krodh, lobh, moha, mada, matsarya. Matsarya, envy, and lobh, greed. These things come into the mind. So here, we have to focus carefully on, in our bhakti yoga, in our Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, remembering the Lord, remembering His Nam and His Roop, His Leela, His Guna, remembering, focusing on the Lord 24 hours a day. This is very, very important. Otherwise, as Kapila Dev says in the 29th chapter, Abhidanasya yo himsam. That sometimes we engage in devotional service, we execute it, but it's with some violence. Damba matsarya evacha. We become falsely proud. I'm an important devotee. Don't you know what I did? Don't you know how many shlokas I know? Don't you know? I'm in the Sannyasa ashram. Who are you? Damba. Matsaryam. We become envious of devotees. Matsaryam eva va. Sambiramasya binadrik bhavan. I'm engaging in devotional service, but I'm angry. Sambiramasya. I'm always angry at some devotee. You're bothering me. Sambiramasya. Binadrik bhavan. Bina means my desires are separate from the Lord. I've become a separatist. Binadrig. I view myself as engaging in devotional service for some perks. I want some benefits from my devotional service. Pratishtha, puja. I want some worship from others, followers. Dhanam, janam. I want something. This is contamination in the heart that seeps in because we become complacent. Utrija, vartate kamakarate, nasa siddham. We can't come to the perfect stage of pure devotional service, raganuga bhakti. Devotional service wherein there's no break. Ahaituki apratiyata. There's no break in my remembrance of Krishna. My enthusiasm, my desire to please the spiritual master is of paramount importance, second to none. How to please my spiritual master. He's already asked us, study my books, practice sincerely the principles of Bhakti Yoga, and try to help the fallen souls. Naivod Vijay Durachya Vaitaranyam. Prahlad Maharaj says, Lord Nrsingadev, don't offer me any material benedictions. I don't have any hankering I don't hanker for any material things. I'm not a businessman. Twadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Magnachita. I'm always thinking of your glories. All 24 hours a day, Prahlad Maharaj is in ecstasy, glorifying Krishna. He's in Prema Bhakti. He is in Prema Bhakti. Sometimes crying, sometimes laughing. Tears are flowing from his eyes like torrents of rain. Pure devotee of the Lord. So chetato vimukasasa chetasa indriyartam. My only lamentation, māyā sukayam baram udvahato vimudha. That everyone I see in this world are bewildered by the modes of material nature, by the māyā, by the influence of Lord's external energy. I want this, I want that, I am this, I am priktak venatu yajganam. I'm male, I'm female, I'm Sudra, I'm Brahmin, I'm Kshatri, all this. I'm American, I'm Indian, I'm Russian, I'm African. No. Pritak venatu yajganam nanabhavam pritak vidam veti sarveshu bhuteshu tadgyanam rajasam smritam. In a mode of passion, you can do devotional service. And you're thinking, oh, this is brahmachari, I'm a sannyasi. Oh, this is a woman, I'm a man. This is Krishna says, knowledge in the mode of passion. So we're in devotion service, we can do in devotion service in the mode of passion, ignorance, or goodness. Sarva bhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyam ikshate. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu tatganam satvikam smritam. In the mode of goodness, I see the one in the many. I see everyone as eternal servant of Krishna, regardless of what their external identity is. Sarva bhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyam ikshate. I see the varieties in the world, but everyone is an eternal part and parcel servant of Lord Krishna. And Krishna is accompanying them for billions and trillions of lifetimes in this material world. And here we have the opportunity to become Krishna conscious in this one lifetime and deliver as many souls as we can. Become strong in our Krishna consciousness, number one. Number two, try to help someone. Otherwise, their suffering is unlimited. Lobha pravitam arambha karmana ashama spriha. They're simply just dying to enjoy the material world. Pravitim arambha, they're working hard like donkeys. Prabhupada says, running at neck break speed to go to work in the morning. And then driving 1-2 hours to go to some factory and work like a donkey simply to get some indriya bhog and some aishvarya, some material opulence. Think, oh, my life is perfect. I have a house. I'm eating delicious foods, blah, 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 like this. So Krishna says, Sat become nirmalam phalam. In the mode of goodness, then our hearts become free from these material desires. We become aniha. The devotee of the Lord is aniha. No desire for the material world. Any subtle or gross desire. No desire, aniha. This is the goal of our life. Bhaktistu ananyaya shakyam ahamevam vidorjuna. Krishna tells Arjuna, if you want to see me, you want to see me? You want to see Krishna? Beautiful cowherd boy, peacock feather on his head, holding a flute, threefold bending form. He is the attractor of all the cupids, Madan Mohan. He's attracting all the Cupid, the god of love. He's attracting him. He's wearing a Vaijayanti garland. His complexion is like a beautiful monsoon cloud. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpaviksha lakshavitesu surabir abhipaliyantam. This is God. Lakshmi sahasrasata. He's surrounded by billions and trillions of goddesses of fortune. He's the supreme enjoyer. We're trying, oh, I want to be Krishna. I'd rather be God. Not possible. Not possible. Not in this particular body, not in this life or any life. So, mode of passion, rajasastu phalam dukam, the fruit of the mode of passion. Hard work to enjoy the material world. Dukam, the only fruit you get is duk, unhappiness, misery. The mind becomes disturbed. Upadrutaha. In Kali Yuga, the mind is upadruta, always disturbed. People are so disturbed. They're suffering. Doesn't matter how much wealth they have. They could be the wealthiest person, having everything, fame, all this, and still, without the Lord, without the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they're covered by the mode of passion. What to speak of the mode of ignorance, where Krishna says, agyana tamasa phalam, foolishness, madness in the mode of ignorance. So this is going on. Sometimes we forget because we've been in Krishna consciousness for a while, but society in general is sinking into the ocean of misery. Kalir dosha nide. It's an ocean of dosha. Ocean of doshas. Ocean of faults. Ocean of misery. Astir eko mahadgunan. Mahadgunan, the great benediction, the great treasure of the world, has been brought here by Krishna himself. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishna Sango Pangasya Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtani Prair. Perform this Sankirtan Yagya. This is the Yagya of the age. We don't have to do 10,000 years like Kardama Muni. He was meditating, doing tapasya for 10,000 years. And then the Lord Vishnu appeared before him. I'm very pleased with your tapasya. Our only business in the Kali Yuga is this chanting, Sankirtan Yagya. This Lord has invested all his potencies in this Maha Mantra. Simply have to chant the Maha Mantra, Kali Kalira Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. That the avatar for this Kali Yuga. And where did it come? It came here too. Sridham Mayapur, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself. If he wants, he can appear anywhere, but he appears here in Sridham Mayapur, the center of the universe. God himself. He walks, he doesn't walk. He speaks, but he doesn't speak. He's transcendental. And he appears again and again. So we are so fortunate. And from here, he's spreading the sunshine rays of the holy name throughout the world. And they don't consider, in the 7th chapter of Adi Leela, Sri Panchatattva were dancing and chanting in Nadia. And they didn't care who was fit or unfit. They were getting drowned in this ocean of love of God. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Vadanyaya, one of the qualities of a great devotee. Vadanyaya, very, very magnanimous. He said, take it. Take this love of God. Simply chant the holy names purely. Simply try your best to chant these holy names, and you will be given prema, bhakti, pure prema. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu was so merciful, he's giving to anyone. The Panchatattva were dancing and chanting, Advaita Charya, Nityananda. They were giving it out. Prema bhakti. Fit or unfit, they didn't care. So merciful. Krishna in Dwapara Yuga, he killed Bhaumasura, Jarasandha, Kamsa. He was killing and giving some moksha. Okay, take some moksha. But in this Kali Yuga, everyone is so demonic. We're all very, very demonic. Aneka chitta vibranta moha jala samavrita. We're like fish caught in a net of illusion. And simply kama paboga parama. Simply want to enjoy kama, boga, like this. Etavad iti diṣṭyā. We're bewildered. People are bewildered. And so Gauranga Mahaprabhu, without any consideration, chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Chant, chant, chant. And they're saying, can't. So, it's a thankless task. We have to be very determined, very focused to continue spreading. And we should not become despondent or discouraged. Just like in the West, there's so much opposition. When we were in the West distributing books, sometimes they would smack you in the face. Sometimes they would call the police on you, harassment like that. This is part of it. If Lord Nityananda can tolerate Jagai Madai and being hit, he's God himself. And he's so humbly going door to door. Please take this holy name. He's going, knocking, please, he's God. And people, like Prabhupada says in the West, you go to the door and someone has a barking dog and the dog is barking. Or you cannot trespass, no trespassers. So you're going door to door, but no trespassing. They can shoot you, they can arrest you for trespass. He said, fortunately in India it's a little more gracious, you know. Oh, come in. Where are you from? What are you teaching? Like this, Bharat Bhumi. So Lord Nityananda himself encountered so much violence, but he told Lord Chaitanya, no, leave chakra, leave Sudarshan chakra, don't use it. Give them love for God. Jagai Madai got prema, although they murdered and raped. We were going on parkrama many years ago with Jaipataka Maharaj. He took us to Jagai Madai. And we didn't know. We thought, oh, they're bad guys, you know. He said, are you kidding? He said they were raping and murdering. So they were the lowest of the low. But Gauranga Mahaprabhu embraced Madai, and he became dark. He took all the sinful reactions. He became black, dark, you know, from all the sinful reactions. And Madhai became a great devotee of the Lord. So we also can endeavor with great determination and perseverance to please the spiritual master, the great Acharya, take the dust from his lotus feet. Tadvar visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratisokam abhivavati api. That if we get the dust from the lotus feet of the great spiritual masters, it will guarantee us love for Krishna, love of God, eventually. Simply to continue trying to receive the mercy of the great acharyas. So thank you very much for Srimad Bhagavatam attendance. We have some comments or questions.
Thank you for that very enlightening class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sometimes devotees, I think, may have a small misunderstanding that, oh, I didn't speak directly to my guru and I didn't get a personal instruction of what I should do with my life. But actually, the spiritual master, Śrīla Prabhupada, gave broad, sweeping messages and instructions of what would please him the most. And those are personal instructions, even if you were thousands of miles away when Prabhupada said it. So everyone has received personal instructions. This is not just for a select few that have a face-to-face conversation with their spiritual master. That's my observation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I would say that Prabhupada is the external manifestation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead servitorship. And that Super Soul, Paramatma, is with us. And based on our lakshanam, our qualities, Prabhupada and Super Soul, aren't they kind of guiding us according to our lakshanam? Yasya lal lakshanam proktam. That based on our qualities and guna, Super Soul guiding us, okay, you run the BBT. you paint pictures. You know, devotees were empowered. Actually, I learned, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Sarabi was not even an architect. He was a draftsman. But he was so empowered. Like when you see these designs, these buildings that Sarabi designed, and he also told, he felt empowered by Srila Prabhupada to do this, engage his talent. He has talent. We all have some talent. And as Ramaswara Prabhu is saying, it's extracted by the acharyas, the gurus. And Super Soul also, the internal Chaitya Guru, he's also okay. So we have to discern what our guna and karma is, and don't try to be artificial. I want to be the temple president. Well, maybe you don't have those qualities. And because you're a temple president or a manager, it doesn't equate with spiritual advancement necessarily. You may be a big GBC man and so on, because you're talented in management and so on, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you've attained the pinnacle of love of God because of your position. So we have to understand that this is all a very internal condition, internal process going on. Any other comments or questions?
Thank you for the wonderful class. In the
Hi.
beginning, Hare Krishna. In the beginning, you said without focus, the complacement comes, and from complacent. Thank you. And
Thank you.
then from complacent, material desire comes. Material desire. So what is then cure for inattendance so that we can focus and not to be complacent?
What is?
What is cure for inattendance, inattention?
Juṣṭā, endeavor. Adishtanam tata kartam karnam chapritak vidam vividam chapritak cheshtam. 5 factors of action. One is cheshtam. Strong endeavor. You have to arrange your life in such a way that you're not being distracted in the Brahma Muhurta. That you are focused on the holy name when you're chanting. Otherwise, Krishna is standing there. When you chant, he's dancing on your tongue. And your mind is ignoring him somewhere else. So endeavor means mental focus. Bring the mind back, wherever it is, bring it back to the Shravanam Kirtanam, the hearing and chanting of the holy name and his pastimes and so on. So that is the cure, the medicine for avoiding complacency. Also controlling the ego, the false ego, ahankar. You know, I'm this, I'm that. I've been doing this for so many years. And I become complacent. I socialize when I should be doing my japa. Oh, how are you, Prabhu? I sent you a message, you know, something. So it's very important to take the holy names very seriously. Very seriously. Danger at every step. Maya is right there waiting in the shadows. As soon as you, then Maya is right there. And she's very powerful. Extremely powerful. The history is there. The history is there. Go back. You see someone, not, you know, and then Lord Chaitanya has to send his empowered devotee. Ray of Vishnu has to come and clean things up. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's also Manjari, comes, cleans it up. Then out of all the Gaudiya mats, you know, one person fulfilled the order of Bhakti Siddhanta, go to the west, like this. So, control of the mind, Trinadapi Sunichinatharur. We have to beat the mind into submission with some shoes when we get up and some sticks before we go to sleep. Be careful. We have to be very careful. And if we falter because of the power of Maya, then we have to pick ourselves up and take shelter of senior devotees also, Dadati Pratigrinati Goyamakati Prachiti. Consult with senior advanced devotees, more advanced. How can I help myself? How can I be helped? How can I resolve these struggles I have? We have to inquire and interface with other devotees. That's why we have the Society of Krishna Consciousness. Confirm. So be careful. We have to be careful. Maya has many tricks up her sleeve. She has an arsenal of weapons. An arsenal. Not just one weapon. So we have to, as we see, even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited so much humility when he was dealing with Prakashananda Saraswati, when he was dealing with the Kashmiri Brahmin who spoke so wonderfully. And he's very humble. Oh, I'm just a student, Nimai Pandit. I'm just a young fellow. I'm so arrogant. But I have a question for you. Like this. He never exhibited, look, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You know, what are you doing, like trying to impress me with your 100 verses? Like this. No. So the Lord himself was very humble. One of his qualities, very humble, very tolerant and humble. And he's asked us the same, to be careful in this way, feel ourselves very insignificant, then we can become his instruments, empowered instruments. Srila Prabhupada was empowered instrument of the Lord. He was empowered, as Rūpa Gosvāmī, the six, they were empowered instruments of the Lord, but they were amike, who am I? I don't even know who I am, right? When they met Lord Chaitanya. Who am I? I don't even know. People say I'm learned, but what do I know? Like this. So I hope that helps. Okay, Prabhu, you have...
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my respectful obeisances.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So preaching is the essence, and everyone is serving as a preacher in his individual capacity in the movement. But can one exclude himself by this reason that I am engaged in a very big administrative position, so I don't have time for book distribution or Harinam Sankirtan or door-to-door preaching? Or should one take out some time for these services, as preaching is our family business?
That's a good point. Yes, Prabhu.
That is a big mistake, that I am this administrator, I don't have time. If you look around at this huge community, not everyone comes for Prabhupada Guru Puja. Not everyone comes to greet the deities. But there are things which you have to make time for, no matter how busy you are with all your other services. And that's how you make advancement. Instead of just being stuck, and there won't be, you won't make further advancement. That's what I think.
No, it's very, very true, very clearly true. This has been a dangerous kind of pattern in our movement. My experience is many temple presidents, very big guys, big names, you know, very famous, great kirtan chanters and so on, but they got caught up so much in management and doing this and that, and my service is as good as chanting the holy name. I've been told that, I was told that. Doing my management is equal to, it's absolute. But the problem is, without the strong program, without worshipping Guru, the Acharya, Guru Puja, deity worship, these things were established for our benefit. And even as a manager, I can take some time to inspire the younger devotees by going out on the Harinam, or going out like during the marathon. I saw many leaders in Prabhupada's time going out distributing books, you know. Not every day, but, you know, to inspire the younger devotees. Not, oh no, book distribution is for the new devotees. You know, I'm managing, no. Or, you know, I'm too busy to come to the morning program. I mean, I've got to talk to Hong Kong, I got to talk to, you know, Moscow, I got to talk to, you know, New York. I'm on the phone. Very dangerous, as Ramaswar Prabhu is clearly elucidating the importance of protecting our own spiritual life, And then giving to others also empowers us, also strengthens us. Because when we're preaching to someone, we're getting purified by preaching. Prabhupada said, distribution of these books is Sankirtan. It's also a form of Sankirtan. Yeah? So we have to balance our lives. If you're making a cake, you don't just use flour and, forget about the icing and everything else, the raisins, the dates. Oh, I'm just going to use some flour. So it's like a cake. With so many different ingredients are required to have a nice cake to offer to Krishna. My service is management. That's it. Telling people what to do. Troubleshooting. I have to troubleshoot all day. I'm just too busy. I'm putting out fires all over Mayapur. And then Prabhu, please come for darshan. Come for darshan, come for Guru Puja, come for class, come for japa. These are very important, especially for leaders in our movement, extremely important. Otherwise, who knows, your devotional creeper will dry up. Little weeds will start growing and you're watering the weeds, So these are described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing Rūpa Gosvāmī. And there's a purport where Prabhupada quotes Bhaktisiddhanta that you're watering the weeds? You're supposed to be watering the creeper. But you're watering weeds. Position, social position, desire for people to show you respect, so on and so forth. Goes on and on. Kutinati, fault finding. I don't like these devotees. This guy, is bothering me. Kutinati, fault finding. Jiva hinsa, violence against others, including devotees. Insulting or causing anxiety to others. It's just jiva hinsa. So yeah, as Ramaswami Prabhu was saying, stick to the morning program very carefully, study Prabhupada's books, association with devotees during kirtan, Guru Puja, kirtan, Panchatattva kirtan. We have so much mercy here. We have to be greedy for it, right? Lola Shamai, greed for the nectar. And then the Acharyas, Śrīla Prabhupada, will be very happy and bless us. We'll become immune to māyā. Haribol! Hare Krishna. Glories to Śrīla Prabhupada.